Brett from Iron Body Martial Arts here. In case you don't know, I run a channel here on YouTube that focuses mainly on old style traditional martial arts and conditioning training, endurance and toughness training, and some law enforcement style stuff, which is what I used to be involved in. Look, today we're going to do a video of how iron palm should actually work. Or, I get a lot of questions, like there's lots of iron palm stuff and conditioning and this and that and the next thing, breaking the bricks and this and that, whatever. And then, there's obviously a whole way that these things are applied. And I've seen some like really naff versions of how you would apply this. So in essence, you're toughening the bone. Iron palm or conditioning or whatever is like toughening the bones and stuff of your body and then using them to strike. But there's I've seen really silly ways that people have demonstrated. So today what we're going to do, one thing, I've got Dan with me, so we're going to set up the camera. So one thing is we need to try and show the way the force works. So what we've got is we kind of chose a number of different things. So we've got a pad. The problem with pads is they don't really show. It's hard to show the way the power is meant to be delivered. So what we also have is this iron skillet here. So we're gonna, for Dan, for the sake of his body, I'm gonna put this iron skillet on the pad. That's gonna stop any of the force going through the skillet or the pad, but it's also gonna give a good idea of the way the strike is delivered, and then hopefully people will appreciate it a bit more than, if I'm here going like this on a pad, I'm telling you this is how you strike in this particular way on this particular part of the body. But if I put this iron skillet on top and then I strike that, you guys will have a good idea of the force. Because there's a way that you have to strike for iron palm striking. That's the reason you strike the iron bag, is you're trying to get force into the surface and not project it away too much, and it causes a specific kind of force. So hopefully this will give a good example. So let me know what you guys think on the comments or whatever, but I haven't seen anyone do this, but as a demonstration of how to strike. But I think it's a good way, because like I said, automatically if I get him to hold this pad and I go, well, you strike like this, you guys are like, oh, well, what's that? And then if we put the skillet on top, automatically we all know how dense a skillet is, and then you get, you see the way you have to strike, and then maybe you understand the force that's going in. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to do 1 for 1. So a problem with a lot of self-defense stuff is that he does one thing, I do 5 things, and that's just unrealistic, because you can't invent time. That's something I always say in self-defense, the DKU style, where we all love DKU, whatever. He's sort of the love to hate guy at the moment, but someone would punch for him once and he'd do 5 things, so no. So this video is just going to be a general demonstration of how you strike with the conditioned iron palm. It's different in different syllabuses of karate and this and that next thing, but we'll show. We'll show. So look, first off, when you train, if you look back on my videos, when you're training iron palm, it's not just the palm, you're training all the bones of your arm and your hand and everything, So this is working if Dan puts up his guard, first off, this is working for clearing and cutting guards, So straight away, clearing and cutting guards is what it would work for. Now, something like this, clearing the guard with your hand or the bone of your arm, again, if we get the skillet, and he holds the skillet in some way, obviously this clearing of the guard is your body, not just your arm, it can be, but you can see if it's just your hand striking into that skillet, that's an iron skillet. And it's your body going in to the skillet, projecting force. So that it's not very rigid, but that that shows that first off, if it's his guard that you have to deal with, real situation, you want to be the attacker, you want to clear the guard. Yeah, so you can clear the guard with this kind of force. Yeah, this kind of force. Yeah, and it's the only way I can like demonstrate the like robustness of the bones and the conditioning. So Dan's got his guard, and he could tell you that if I just put my arm against his like that, like what does that feel like just touching there?
Yeah,
it's like it feels nasty. Yeah, so that's the idea. So I promised him I wasn't going to do that too much. So we got the stick. Yeah. So
I don't do anything.
So this is the stick, and he's going to hold it like this. So first off, we're going to use the skillet as well. But first off, so hold it so you don't like. So this is his arm or his whatever, and in real life, like you're clearing a guard. Yeah. So this is just a nice drill you can do with your stick at home with your partner if they're tough enough and conditioned. But this is the sort of thing, as you can hear, you gotta have the conditioned bone, yeah, to do this, yeah. And you can hear my bone just hitting against this nasty stick. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's we got a thumbs up. That's like base level, and then like obviously I'm not doing a lot, but this is simple. It's like the fight started. Boom, you can walk in and you can clear this. Yeah. So look, walk in, clear. Look at this neck opening that opens up here. Yeah. So this is another one, and this strike to the neck is with this thumb. Yeah, the Boshikan. So this is how in real life, like, it's not like sport style-y, but he's got his guard up, and I can clear his guard, or clear his guard, and then hit or strike into his neck with the thumb. And the thumb is trained the same way you train all your iron palm stuff. Like Goju style, hard to soft. So that thumb is trained on your iron bag, or you doing the press ups on it, yeah. And then obviously you've trained the same way with the hitting and the striking of the bone of the arm. And what I wanted to show there is like it's not like Dan's there and I'm going like like no, it's just in my natural movement. So he puts his guard up, and we would be doing whatever, or he would be hitting me, and I would be doing my normal movement, whatever it is, whatever martial art you're doing, I'd be doing my normal movement with my body. But my natural, what I'm trying to say is your natural conditioning would be cutting him without effort. Yeah? So he would feel it would whittle him down. Yeah, obviously in real life, your fight's not going to last lots. But and this is not even a scenario that's necessarily going to happen in real life. But in real life, definitely a guard scenario can happen. Where I'm like, hey mate, chill out. Calm down. He might raise a fist to hit me or start to get in a guard. And that's when I would just kill his guard. Like I would literally chop in there, grab his neck with this thumb here, grab his neck and get in there and start crushing, yeah, this muscle bundle, yeah, and then you can open the thumb up. I'd start crushing the muscle bundle in there, and I'm not doing it to him. If I knee him in the head, yeah, he's done good there. He's guarded it. Take him into something else. Yeah, you can stun the top of his head, stun the back of his head. You wouldn't need to do those things. But anyway, look, we said we're going to do one for one, so we'll calm down. But anyway, the first thing I wanted to show you guys is for a drill, or the thing is that clearing this attacking hand or this guard, is just it's like a passive thing with your movement, yeah, with your movement, yeah, with your movement, yeah, yeah, with your movement, yeah, yeah, and this is the kind of thing, and then these strikes to the body, like here, kidney, yeah? And if Dan holds the skillet, so for kidney, and this is another thing, you'd be striking the organ, so if he brings it in, and look, I'm not saying, the thing is, you're not Mr. Aim, but you're just using your body movements, yeah? Yeah? And that's it, just kidney, yeah? And you can see how easily this move hit, yeah? Strike, yeah? And you can see how the force is sounding, yeah? It's sounding nasty, yeah? It's sounding nasty. So, but what I'm trying to say is it's with your natural body movements, yeah? It's with your natural body movements. Forgive me, which I'm trying to get across something. Should be simple, but this is the kind of way, you know. So this is how it works, and we were trying to think of a way to show it, you know, which is better than me just going like, oh look, you hit like this, or you move and you hit kidney, yeah. So that would be kidney, yeah. So I don't know. You know, it might be a self-defense scenario. I'm on the side, I turn around, he's freaking throwing these hits at me, and he might get me with one, and he might have, you know, I'm like, shit, and then I'm like this, and he comes with another one, and I'm like, I'm getting overrun, and you know, but I see my opening here, you know, what I'm trying to say is your martial arts has to fill in the gaps, but these are the areas you strike, yeah, back fist, kidney, yeah, and
that's nasty.
Yeah, and the way, so you fill it in with your martial arts, and the way back fist kidney goes is with a twist, like this, like, oh, I'm covering up, and then twist, yeah? I'm covering up Tyson style, and then twist. But the only way I can show it, with the way the force should be hit, is, again, like I said, with that nasty little skillet. Because that shows you, if we come in here, that little skillet of iron shows you the way the hit goes in, yeah? And you can't pretend on the iron skillet. And it goes in like that. Boom, boom. And you're trying to hit that surface. Yeah, so it doesn't actually matter how much wind up you get. Like, that's great, but you can do it short range, yeah, into there. Yeah? With the conditioning. The same goes with the bones of the arm and the fist. You know, like, obviously don't go around punching skillets. And the same as well goes with the, like I said, the kidney. Yeah, like the kidney. Yeah, the kidney. You know, you can, hopefully you guys can hear, or even the concealed kidney, which comes up from here. Yeah, so again, here's our misdemeanor. And again, he's coming at me or whatever, and it's like, oh shit, maybe he's hit me, whatever. And then if I turn him around, maybe he's hit me, so he's got me, and then see here, and this, like they do in wrestling. See this? Oh, we got 2 thumbs up, thank you. See this? So he might have hit you, because that's real life, but this is iron palm. Real life, kidney. Kidney. I meant liver before. Kidney. Boom. Boom. Yeah? And again, the only way I can nicely show it,
I can feel
is again,
that's nasty. Man.
If Dan holds the thing, I'm going to go around here like I'm here. Yeah? And this, you can hear that on the skillet now. Boom. And it's easy. Short generation power. And that'll shock into the organs. You know, and on a pad, it doesn't really, oh, his fingers are there, I don't want to hurt his fingers, but it doesn't really give it justice, yeah? Like, I can do this all day, you guys will just be like, oh, what the hell he's doing.
You can do a live one if you wanted to, like a
No, but, and this is where this whole kind of dim mak scenario comes from. And actually in ancient China, dignitaries used to wear steel plates, iron plates over their heart. It was a little bit of folklore, but it's for the same reason, yeah? Because you guys have seen the demonstrations of iron palm now online, like way better than me. It's a different style, but you know, those guys with the giant hands, and you can see how they're hitting and the damage that they can do. So imagine if one of them gets you with a shock force in the heart, it causes a lot of damage. So back in the day, ancient China, dignitaries actually used to wear a plate, armor over the heart to stop this strike. Yeah, but and the same, I would not advise doing it. Like, I suppose if you're iron palm trained, but the same thing goes for down here. You know, like if I wanted to, I would not do it. But if I wanted to direct a palm strike into his chest there over his heart, if he faces the camera a bit, I'll do the other hand like I could do that, and you can hear the kind of hit that it would do. And it's probably not a good idea. It's a little bit of folklore though, but you can. It's the way you inject the power. So Dan's there, wouldn't do this, but Dan's there, and it's the way you inject the power. You could inject that same style into the chest. But anyway, back to the first one we were doing. So block number 1 was bridge. Yeah, this same conditioning goes on these arms and everything.
You
so,
can do it on mine.
I'll do it on here for now, just to save you getting bruised and shit. But same thing goes here. So you're naturally, you know, it's not like this. It can be like this, but you're naturally, in whatever fighting style you're doing, you're naturally clearing, you know, the arm. Yeah, and you should get it to a point where you can, you know, hit the arm with the bones, and you know, and with the hands, even if it's solid and it's not really, you know, it doesn't really, you're going to be the one hurting them. So that's the idea, that when it's not like a kung fu game, but when they have a guard, whatever their guard is, you know, you can, with the same kind of way, you can clear this guard, yeah, in the same way. Not that you'd ever have to do that, but it's the same, or you can meet it. So Dan puts his guard up, you can meet it, or he hits for me and you can meet it, yeah? So see, I've gone underneath it, and then any hit that comes from here will be the same. It's with that same natural kind of power, yeah? And Dan's doing a good job of he's doing a good job of moving around, which is good. But yeah, anyway, so first off, we want strengthen the arms and everything like that. And then point number 1 is liver. Yeah, this is a good place to strike. So liver with back fist, and we put it there. Liver with this point, yeah. And again, like obviously it doesn't have to be big. You know, it can literally just be this. Chest, yeah, chest, liver, yeah, heart. Sternum and obviously one solar plexus. Solar plexus is the same, and it's the same kind of ging power, short power that goes in like this. You know, and again, if he takes the plate away, and the plate's cool because it takes away so much of the force, but you can't really get an idea of the way the power goes. And then even here, if you come, already poor old Dan, if you look at the camera, he's come down.
What are we looking for?
Come down, turn your head that way.
This
so
one?
he's already got like a bloody, you've already got like a finger mark there.
Okay.
This must have been where I was just like touched you or something there, you know, just a slap. But back fist like this, great one for what are we saying? Liver, yeah. Then also, like I said, they come in and they overwhelm you or whatever, or you grapple them, and then these kidney hits, yeah, boom, 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 yeah, and he can feel it already. And again, if I hold one of the kidney pads there for him, the kidney hits, you know, they're nasty. It's into the kidney there.
Nice.
Yeah. So and again, the cool thing with the skillet is it kind of shows you the surface hit that shocks in. Yeah.
Because the pad doesn't. Really...
Yeah, the pad doesn't really give you an idea. It's not magic. It's just a kind of way of hitting. So we've got there, liver. Again, however you get it, it's up to your martial arts. Like you could even be in jiu-jitsu grappling on the floor, and you're taking that back fist like that, boom, into into this area here, liver. Again, kidneys. Sometimes kidneys as well, you can have your guard and they're coming to hit you or whatever, and you can come back, and then and then you see here, if we do a full shimmy, I've come back and I'm here on this. See that kidney? So again, like I don't. What does that feel like, Dan? What are you thinking about that?
Sting.
But more than the surface, what do you think's going to happen if I just go?
Well, the thing is, I can feel that surface sting, but I know something nasty's coming.
Yeah.
Like something real.
So
Yeah.
so that's another thing. So your condition and your martial arts has to get you there. But what I'm saying is you're conditioning your hands and body, and then you're striking vulnerable targets anyway. Like I said, liver. Another thing as well with the liver, the liver is you can attack it back like this as well. Yeah. So Dan's hitting me or whatever, and he's overwhelming me, and then you can throw it under here. Yeah. Yeah. And you can add obviously elbows and other hits. But again, if you don't think it's that bad, then again, we'll just put the steel pad there. We'll move Dan's fingers out the way. We'll put myself in the same position, and you can feel the nastiness. Yeah, that's going to go boom. Same movement, liver. That's all you need from the extension from the elbow to the arm, without body. That's the kind of directional power you put in. Yeah, it's very easy to put in. That's without even any body behind it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a different kind of power, and it's not going to make you Chuck Norris. But again, Daniel's hitting me, whatever. He's beaten me, he's overcome me, whatever. Like I said, your martial arts has to get you into this position. But the system is, boom, liver. And again, if you don't, like hitting vital organs, I've just asked Baz Rutten in Pancras, hitting vital organs is already causing people a lot of problems. But then you've got the conditioning in hand, and hopefully, anyone can do this, but hopefully the skillet there shows you the realistic way that it would land. And everyone says like, oh, you don't have the time, or it's not real, or but literally it's the same way you can drop your hand, like as we're talking now, like you can see the movement's the same. Move, survive, boom. Just with a little twist of the body. And what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, it's you know, another thing you point to that, bro, as well is like you know, there's the whole what is it when you what's it called, the sort of like chemical when
adrenaline?
Adrenaline. Those types of vital organ strikes. I
Yes.
think they can overcome adrenaline anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
shut down
yeah.
the
Now,
body.
definitely liver.
Yeah.
Adrenaline's not going to be your friend. Yeah. Because the moment you hit the liver, it releases poisons into the bloodstream and just crumbles you. And again, the same goes, now you can do it offensively or defensively. So again, look, we're using our like iron bridge guard. Like, you know, maybe his hands are down, real situation, I'm like, look bro, you best calm down, stop what you're doing. Again, even here, from here, self-defense wise, I'm covering and I'm flattening myself off. And I'm covering this arm and this side of his body. It looks like he's a right-hander, maybe this is a danger. But if he's coming with these, I can start to control his body. But without even that, here's the heart, without even that, Dan's going to go do something, and I can start his, but the thing is, the hits don't, it's not like I'm going to go like, wah, iron palm it. It'll just be like, if you palm it back, you start the onslaught. And like, so there's like, again, clearing his guard, and then this, you guys maybe not see, but this is a strike like this to the side of the bone of the head here. And it's not, you're not targeting it, it's just your natural movements. Yeah, like, so it's very hard for them to check. And we're doing one for one. You know, he's doing one, I'm doing one. He's doing one, I'm doing one. So we're not trying to train a DKU scenario here. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to show you guys was the fact that, first off, conditioned arms. This is part of the conditioning system. This all has to be conditioned. Conditioned hands and this and that. Then you're attacking for the organs. The good thing is, even if you're not too conditioned, you can still do these things. Yeah, so so just like how you punch, you know, boom for this one with this leading hand, boom for this one, and away, boom for this one. Same, liver, yeah? Yeah? And then again, if Dan puts his little shield there, again, boom, boom for that one, and boom for this one, yeah? Yeah, so, yeah, obviously you don't do it one after the other, but in real life, when whatever he's doing, like I said, your martial arts has to get you to this position, but the iron palm system or the IBMA system is the system of attacking, or the system of the conditioning and the striking points. Whatever you do to get there is up to you, but one example, he does whatever he does, maybe he's overwhelming me, and boom, yeah, there's for that. It doesn't have to be spot on, but there's that liver, boom, right in there. Now that's 1 for 1, brothers. That's 1 for 1. He does one, I've got time to move out the way and do one. Yeah? So it's kind of more realistic in time. 1 for 1. Yeah, and then you're going for that. Yeah? That's that. And same thing, whatever. Maybe I'm on the offensive. So I'm like, hey bro, whatever. He starts to put his guard up to hit or whatever. I sweep this away, boom, and I pop one of these in there. Yeah? So I just meet that with general force, and then boom, pop one of these in there. Yeah? And again, you're just doing it with, this is the same force, but one thing is it's the same force that you attack your iron palm bags with. Yeah? And also it's not the only way you attack. You also, condition your fists and the bones of your arms. So like, again, when he's got, imagine this is his guard, or both of his guards, or one of the arms as they come up. It's the same, bone, clear it away, boom, yeah? Or clear it away, boom, on the inside with the inside bone. Clear it away, boom, to the jaw. So yeah, what I'm trying to show is that your body should, just naturally be tough. This is a nasty dense sort of wooden plastic broomstick, and it's not giving my bones or body any problem. Yeah, like hitting it or whatever. So these are all the things you can naturally do to their guard. They're the principles that are inside your guys' martial arts. You have to look for them. The system of IBMA is conditioning yourself to do that. Sweeping the guard down, pushing the guard up, sweeping it to the side. These are all, they're not all going to apply all the time, but when his guard's up or his fist's up or he's just hit for me, it's the same sort of things. Yeah, that was probably the wrong move to do. But, same sort of things. This way, this way, this way. He goes with the hits, whatever. Oh, this way, yeah? This way, this way. Well, however, it doesn't, what I'm trying to say, this isn't trying to teach you that. That's up to you, whether you do boxing or whatever. If his guard's up or he's raising a fist, even if it's this or this or this, it's totally up to your guard system. Even if it's a grab and a strike and hits, whatever you do, it's totally up to you. But anyway, we'll have a look at the comments in a minute. But yeah, what I'm trying to show is that, boom, bring it in here, Dan. So again, liver, boom. So liver, sort of aggressive attack mode, liver, yeah? Moving to the side, maybe there's a hit coming in, you're escaping from it or whatever, liver, yeah? Boom, liver, like this, liver this way, yeah? However you want to strike it, it's up to you, yeah? And underneath too. Yeah, just however you can fit your hands in there. And then also, strike comes in, sorry, we've only showed you like 2 here, but strike comes in, maybe you go away from it. Oh shit, maybe you go away from it. And then kicking, yeah? Or, hey bro, look, you best calm down. And then he starts to do something aggressive. You hear, and then turn the camera. So this is 1 for 1 because I've met him. The wrestle hasn't even started yet, and then this, yeah, this happens, yeah. And if he holds, so pretend this is the back of him. Pretend this is the back of Dan, and this is his kidneys. I've held him. You know, the wrestle hasn't even started yet, and we got those going on into the kidneys. Yeah, and with the pad, I guess it's like it's the same. And it's hard to you don't, but it's not like, you know, it's just boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and it's that same kind of power, but it's we'll have a look at the comment, but it's cleverly placed. So like I said, look, I don't know all the answers. It's up to you to train how to get to the positions, but some kind of attack, moving away, yeah? Boom, yeah? Doesn't matter, you're not spot on. Liver, yeah? Also, some kind of attack, moving away, perfect. Here, look, liver. See, liver. And hopefully your conditioned guard, although you're not really always meeting it with force. So that's 1 for 1. I think we all agree we could fit that in space and time. You can move away once and do one counter attack. Yeah? If you're on the aggression, same thing. Hey bro, like you best calm down. And then he goes to do something and it's like, whoa, no. So look here. So it's freeze frame. Whoa, no. So we've got this trapped a little. It's not held tight, otherwise he's going to wrestle me. Trapped a little, this hand. The next thing that happens, do a freaking matrix style. The next thing that happens is this. See, I'm only 5 inches from his body here. But obviously my head's down and tucked so I don't get headbutted. I could just headbutt him. But the next thing that happens before he thinks, move number 3 is just boom. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, don't want any of that. No.
Yeah, so look, it's not going to make you Bruce Lee, but it's papa, yeah, wrestling, yeah, papa. Now, your jiu-jitsu mate's going to hate you for that in real life, but as I'm saying, real life, you come in here, boom.
Yeah,
yeah. Now, anyone does that with a bare hand, your opponent's going to have a bad day. But again, if you condition your hand, it's going to be even better. Boom. Yeah? Yeah? Same goes for the Baz Rutten style. You see him doing the blade arms. Yeah, you know, with the blade arms. Yeah? Which you sometimes clear the side. So I don't know, Dan might hit for me or something. Oh shit, kidney. Liver there. Blade arm. You know, just some kind of blade arm. Whatever your martial arts. So let's do a little recap, then we'll look at the things. So liver, yeah, liver, yeah. Obviously sternum and solar plexus are the same, and you can hit those with all manner of things. Also back fist, liver, yeah. And again, if Dan holds the pad with the skillet, we'll bring it in for the skillet, and then we'll go to the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. And then, again, there's the skillet just to show you guys, and then it's just that. Hey, oh shit, move out the way. Yeah. Even as a back fist, even as fist. It's just this, yeah. Because this is all you have time to do, real. You know, like if you have time to do like a nice huge hook, yeah, you do the hook every day of the week. But in the real, you might not. You're in a position, you're limited, boom, you just throw that in. And it's about delivering that same kind of evil power there. And then, of course, if you get sternum target, you can go for the sternum target the same, with the fist or whatever. And then you're all right there, not too many injuries. And then obviously we've got there, and kidney. The cool thing I like about the kidneys is that again they can look. If you think in a fight or in a real situation, you're going to be on the winning end all the time. Well, have you ever seen an MMA match where the guy's just like winning solidly constantly? Yeah, some of the matches, but a lot of them there's a wrestle, there's a grapple. You know, they're doing this. So again, this is nice. So he's wrestling and grappling me. And if we're thinking about the iron palm targets, immediately we've got kidney. We've got look here, which he might do to me.
back. I don't know if you guys can see back of the head. Back of his head here.
True.
Yeah, you got this liver.
You got inner thigh. Yeah, which sends a shock. Which sends a shock. Yeah. You got this. You got these like nasty little slaps. And I'm not saying these are, well actually the one on the back of the head will knock you out. You got ones to the neck, side of the neck. You got grabs to the throat. Like you got so much stuff you can do. And also you've got to the arms, but you wouldn't really waste your time on the arms because you know why are you going to damage the arms? No, when you can just get this organ here. Yeah. So we'll look at the comments now, but solar plexus, shock force, liver, shock force, and again, we're not discounting all of these things. Yeah, too close for a kick like that, but you're not discounting all your weapons. Your fist obviously is like number one, you know, like you can use it, but it doesn't have to be locked in. You know, your fist to the sternum, boom. Yeah, you can use your fist, you know, if you want. Yeah, I wouldn't advise punching skillets, but you can use your fist if you want. It's not that kind of power though that we're looking for. Yeah, it's just this horrible, quick power. Yeah, and there's. I'm glad we found the skillet because it's a really good way of demonstrating it. Anyway, let's see. Let's see if we're getting flamed and destroyed on the comments. Here we go. So let's see what we got. Brian says, and people think this art is useless. It's so underground, it's not funny. Very few even teach this art. I believe it's the pain process of it. It's awesome what you teach. Oh, well, thanks, Brian. I see Brian's kind of seeing, look, I'm not here to convince people, and it's not MMA the ultimate. It's whatever your martial art is, this adds in. You know, that's IBMA. So that's why I'm not trying to be like Mr. Miyagi. You know, in general, Dan, because he did years of boxing with John Donahue in Melbourne, is it?
Yeah.
He's done some boxing with the John Donahue guy. So in general, his boxing fists are like better than mine. So but if I encounter him, I'm not going to know that in real life. But it doesn't matter. You know, I might get hit or whatever. But the general principles are going to apply. Guard position. You know, even they think that they're overwhelming you. Actually, they hit you. I mean, I was a cop for 15 years. There's loads of times people went for me. They actually got me, and I'm going like this, and then that's when you're hit. Or most of it's preemptive though, because you can't afford to get into that kind of violent situation with someone. But every now and then someone gets you, and that's part of the way it goes. In fact, there was a famous judoka. It might have been Mori Ueshiba, actually, obviously the founder of Aikido, because he was a jiu-jitsu guy. But, or there was another judoka, I can't remember. It might have been Jigoro Kano as well. But there's a specific school of jiu-jitsu, like a sacrifice throw, where the throw, you get to the point where the person's thrown you, and they feel like they have you, and that's when you attack. So there's an element of that as well. Okay. Penguin says, can you palm strike to the body? Could you make someone puke? Yeah, well, those were palm strikes to the body. So obviously you're targeting left arm to right side, which is kidney. Liver. Yeah, and you know, liver. But the cool thing is you're only just going for that general area, even if it's like a backhand. So even if like Dan's doing something to me, he goes for a hit and I go down, even if it's a backhand like this, boom. Yeah, it's just backhand for that area. And Dan's doing good because he's like properly trained. He's putting a nice elbow guard there. But how many times do you think you're going to come across this nice elbow guard right down by the liver? Not often. So generally it's not going to be there. And even this backhand here is going to sting. Boom. And it's just in that 1 second, you know. And that's like sting number one. You know?
Yeah, and admittedly, I'm really trying to guard it because it really does. They really do. Even just the light ones, I can certainly feel them.
So basically, what Dan's saying is he can. It's not dim mak death touch,
No.
but he can feel the potential
Yeah.
of injury when you're striking these points, and that's pretty much how you'll strike them. Yeah. Obviously, you can add a bit of speed and anger in there. You know, you're going to be hitting them the same way. So I'm not even going to say like, oh, I'd be hitting them so much more harder, because the speed, his training speed has to match my speed, 1 for 1. So anyway, let's go to the next comment. So yeah, Brian said people think this art is useless. No, striking the vital points is not useless. It's a good one. Just don't count on it all the time. Brian says, I do forearms, shins, palms, and fists. You're showing gentle side of this art still. I go for the eyes area and the temple area. It's such a shattering experience. Yes, of course. And at the beginning of our demo, I showed one where we just cleared his guard and just went straight for the neck muscle bundle. You know, and that, you know, you can also go for the throat, but I showed the neck muscle bundle, and Dan was like, and then you could just knee them. But what we're trying to do in this demo is, and maybe I've not done it a bit, we're trying to do 1 for 1. So we're not trying to do sort of DKU style. We're trying to do like 1 attack, 1 defense, because you can't, like I always say, you can't make time. This isn't a self-defense sort of demonstration video, but we're trying to, as much as possible, show how you know, what I mean is you can't make time. Like for instance, if Dan does 1 punch, and I go, oh, kidney, hit, you know, like that's just not going to happen. You know, in 1 millisecond of time, I've got 1 chance to react at the same speed as he does. And that's a good example of it. I've moved out the way, and I've gone for that liver shot. Then after that, I can naturally move in another way, you know, and now we're both going at the same speed. And there was an example of the right chop to the neck, which would have been neck or jaw, left chop to the neck, I think I did a knee, and then I did another open chop, you know, once the time frame returned normally. And Dan nicely guarded those. But if those strikes are hitting, even at that level, you know, it's right chop to the jaw, left chop to the jaw, you know, like, yeah, it's nasty stuff. It's going to hurt you, you know, like it's again, it's, you know, like whatever, you know, you can hear it on the little thingy, tin, that's what.
Mine.
And that's something from, you know, from the conditioning. I'm not super conditioned, but from the conditioning, it's just that kind of empty force movement, you know, because the moment you put effort like this, he'll sense it. It's out of tune, you know. Like if I move, if Dan's got his guard, if I move like this, boom, and I clear his guard, and then I move again, boom, boom. That's all in tune. You can see it's in tune. But if I like move like this and clear his guard, and then I try going like this, it's out of tune. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can just sense it immediately. But if you're moving with your own body structure, you know, it's harder for him to sense, you know, what's going on. It's like a flow. Anyway, but no, that's not what this video is about. So we'll carry on. Brian says, oh, thanks, there's a thumbs up there. Brian says, yes, you can palm strike the body, stay loose till impact, like in a whipping motion. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to show here, is that you're moving with your body, and it's just, you're just targeting, like the back fist. Dan's holding it. Sorry, we've shown this like a million times, but like the back fist, you know, chum, he attack, or either you go in, yeah, or he goes in, or whatever, and it's just this, yeah, and it's to the surface, but it isn't to the surface, because that's why we put the steel pad there. Because if I do that same strike to Dan's body without the pad, it's the same. Put the pad there, but you can't really see it on the pad.
No, yeah, but I can feel it.
He can feel it inside, and then if the pad goes away, it's the same movement, boom, and it's just there. Is that quick, bros? Boom. Yeah, and you can see that's in the flow of what we can do in time. Boom, boom. And Dan, what do you say about what do you say? And that's why we got the skillet, because it's the only way we can think about demonstrating it. What do you say about what you can feel there? Like what would you say to the guys? And it's got nothing to do with me, but what would you say to the guys about what you can feel with the effort that I'm putting in if that freaking pad's not there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of force that's traveling through there, so yeah, absolutely, we need to have the skillet and the pad there to...
No, but what do you reckon on your body?
Oh, you mean...
What's the result? Bare minimum, you attack me, whatever, you hit me, whatever, or you get me, and I just boom. Just with the same level of force I did on there. What's happening?
It's like I don't know how to describe that, but like a concussive force. Like I can feel that. Like I said, if you're in that conflict, if that hits me, that's going to cause a lot of damage.
So that's the idea. It's not going to make you Bruce Lee. It's not going to make you win the UFC fight.
And then also, I appreciate you're not doing it without the skillet.
And then again, so sneaky places too. Like we said, you're losing the fight, or you're in a jiu-jitsu grapple, or Dan's we're slugging each other. Dan comes in and he's got me, but now look, freeze. Okay, I'm getting hurt. I'm a cop. I'm on the street. I'm getting hurt. Now watch this, brothers. Watch this. Bye bye kidney pie, bye bye kidney pie. But what I'm trying to say is, like if, I don't know if Dan holds us like to the side of him. Like what I'm trying to say is like bye bye kidney pie. It's hard. That's your kidneys. Are really not going to enjoy that.
No. And you probably you may well let go of that tie clench or whatever from.
Well, the honest truth, you'll take one or two of those shots, and you will not be having a good day. Because that's the reason why we got the pad and the skillet. It's because we're trying to show that it's not a case of I'm hitting and punching, hitting. It's like the kind of force is this horrible force that loves to travel into internal organs, because that's what it was designed to do. And the kidney, everyone's going to start doing it now, but the kidney hit is just number one evil way. Boom. That's number one thing. So when I'm punching the boxing bag, I'll be on the boxing bag and I'll do like left, right. I might do a kick. I might do a liver shot. I'll do like this one to the neck. I'll have to slow these down actually. So I'll do like 1, 2, liver shot. And remember, liver shot is. Yeah, I'm trying to dodge Daniel's fingers. But 1, 2, liver shot is like this for the liver. So that's horrible. So 1, 2, liver shot. Then I'll usually grab the bag, like as if it's a human, and do a double bomb of the kidneys. Or the same, if Dan comes down, or the same for the ears. Yeah, it's called bombing the ears. Yeah, same for the ears, and also like the back of the head. Boom. Here, see? So you can turn a Muay Thai clinch. This is a very realistic scenario I've been in a lot of times. And then look here, back here, just like this.
That's very like a concussive.
You do this. Yeah, and the thing is, you keep it relaxed, and you just go, so they don't feel this big intention, like, I'm going to hit you. You keep it relaxed, it's in the thing, and you just go, bah. Next thing the guy knows is like, for a second, he's like, oh, what got me? And then in comes the next one, hit, punch, bone, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's one of those, whatever. Anyway, let's look at the next comment. It's the standard Goju principle of hard to soft, soft to hard. Brian says, Penguin, you can damage organs, never mind making someone puke. Yes, these sorts of strikes would be damaging internal organs, especially if you've got... but look, by damaging, I just mean the same as anything else. It's an injury. But it's like the same as if you got punched. but it's a different kind of force. So it's like a, yeah, that's why we got this skillet, so we can show you guys. Because if I just go like this, you know, like you just doesn't, you know, it doesn't make sense. It's the way you have to hit it. It's also part of the training, yeah. But it isn't like the demonstration videos. Like I've seen this Chinese fight where the guy's fighting with iron palm, and he's like going like this and like palming the guy on the top of the head. I mean, that's one strike you could do, but you would never palm someone. So that guy can go away. I don't know who taught him. Probably someone better than me. But if you were going to palm that head area, you'd be palming these temples. If you were going to back fist, you back fist the line of the jaw. Yeah, if Dan comes in to close here, so we can see there. So if you're going to back fist, you back fist the line of the jaw. Yeah. If you're going to strike, you strike the line of the neck there, or the bone of the back of the head there. You know. But the cool thing is we're not dim mat masters who are not going to get knocked out. We're not going like, you don't have time in a real fight to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to get the back of your freaking 7.01. You know, you don't have time to do that. But in the context of your natural movements, you can aim for those places. And within the fight, within the wrestle, like we said with the kidney one, within the wrestle, and he hits me in the stomach, and and I take a real bad hit to the stomach, and I can't breathe. And that's when I just go, whack. Or I do it close range, whack, here, yeah? And then as he gets that one, we give him another one. Yeah, and we pull him in close. He's going to be hurting. I'm going to be hurting because I've taken a hit to the stomach. And then we're probably going to get nasty if we're hurt that bad, and we're going to start grabbing neck bundles and stuff like that. Yeah. So if that's sort of more the way it might go, hopefully you don't get kneed in the body. But what we're trying to say is the best way as you can, you train the conditioning of your whole arm, and you can see all of that in my channel or in that Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course I've got, but in the channel. And it's about conditioning the body, and it's about moving. Again, if I put this fake guard up, which is pretending to be Dan's arms, like no, we're not doing this. Yeah, this, yeah, clearing. We're moving. What I'm saying is we're moving with our body, our whole body. Yeah, yeah. We're moving with our body. Yeah. So that's a strike in the neck. Yeah, and also we've got the conditioning that if we come up against these body parts, we can just chop them away. Yeah. Sorry, bro. Got him in the neck a bit. Yeah, so we're trying to build resistance so that when we're against a real person who these days we know, MMA, everything like that, educated fighters, if Dan's in his guard and I'm waiting for him to punch me and I'm trying to do like a block like Wing Chun, no diss on Wing Chun, but if I'm trying to do that at my skill level or at most of our skill levels, it's not going to happen for us. You got 1 second to make one move. That's all you got. So your move better be, his guard's up already. I've used my, and again, this video isn't to teach you to break people's guard or whatever. This is not part of the video. Your martial art has to get you into this position. But what we're trying to demonstrate is the conditioning is like the hit comes in and you're guarded from it. Then you've got your one chance to attack back. Yeah. So this is not optimal. Yeah, because this is just general rib cluster under heart. But again, it's one of the nice little palm strikes can hurt him. Follow up with an elbow, whatever. But that doesn't count for this example because we're just showing 1-to-1. Yeah. And of course, I want to remind you guys, we're not discounting everything else. Elbows, yeah, knife hands, full fists, headbutts. We're not discounting anything. Obviously, I'm gonna have to favor iron palm strikes for this demonstration for you guys because it's an iron palm video. But what I'm trying to say is iron palm is everything. It's your arm, it's your elbow, it's your thumb, like we did before where his guard's up, which not really a situation we want to encounter, but we like clear the guard because we don't want to face a guard because this is unknown. Like, why am I going to do this? So the moment I see this in real life, I'm like, I'm closing this guard down, then I'm going to grab this this muscle if he turns, then I'm going to grab this muscle bundle in his neck. Yeah? If Dan turns his neck to the camera, it's this one. Yeah? So here, look. It's this one in between this one and that one. Yeah, then you're going to grab, I'm going to grab that or something. I'm going to grab that muscle bundle, I'm going to dig my hand in there, and I'm going to bust him in the face, and knee him, hit him. You know, like, we're going to do the same shit that everyone else is going to do. We're not playing nice. If we're not Kung Fu masters, if we grab an arm, if I grab it, the only thing I would say is that if you grab an arm forcefully like this, you're going to have a big fight.
Yeah,
and you're very rigid. So that's why before I was trying to say, try and clear things with your kind of natural momentum. Yeah, like a boxer does. But in real life as well, and I've used it before. I've grabbed guards. Yeah. So you see, look, I grabbed this guard here, and again, you're using the conditionedness of your hand to just stand. You grab the guard. You're here. Look, I've turned sideways because I don't want to get this. I'm hitting. I've gone under. I've got the bone. Yeah. I've got this bone here. I can turn this into a nasty lock. He's tapped. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, we're not doing locks, but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, your martial arts has to get you there, but you know, we need to toughen our arms. It's difficult to show, but we need to toughen our arms so that if we're grappling, I mean, I've even done nasty stuff like, I can't think of an example, but I've even done nasty stuff where people are gripping or we've been gripping, or I've gripped them and gone, put that down, but they've got a pipe or a knife, and then I've literally just got my forearm bone, obviously kept the arm, so it's like, because if it's here, he's going to punch me in the face. So I've gone like, look, put that down, and then there's this like rigidness between you, and then I've just gone whack, like this, and literally hit the forearm bone, bah, with my bone, to strip the weapon out of their hand, whack, yeah, and that's with the same conditioning. Like, you know, here's the forearm, whack, 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 you know, or this way, put it down, you know, put it down, you know, it's not really showing it, but it's the same, yeah, he's got the pad, it's the same, yeah, it's the same, yeah, it's the same, yeah, it's that, sorry, no, it's not working properly, it's the same. Anyway, let's see a few more comments. You all right, Dan?
Yeah.
Injuries?
Hopefully, no, I don't think any.
No, all good? Yeah, we're trying to...
No injuries.
Penguin says you can damage your toenails. Yes, Penguin says you can make someone puke. Yeah, someone could puke. Brian says don't mind about people puking. Yeah, don't worry about people puking. Different people do different things. Oh, good. Someone says, I understand whatever you think you can pull off. Yeah. Brian says, this isn't for sport fighting, two different animals. Yeah. I think, yeah, he says, I think he's going on about his own personal experience of not teaching self-defense. Yep. Not teaching sport fighting. Hit low, then high. Yeah, it's just Brian's giving different... ideas on self-defense, like hit high, hit low, you know, different distances and such. Jason says 1 second to make one move. That's right. These are creative and effective strikes, so a martial artist needs to train with the snake of mindful application. Oh, with the sake of mindful application. Otherwise, it won't happen in real life. Yes, it's a great one. And that's what we're doing here. So, you know, over the years, and you guys can go and look on my channel, there's so many videos of me striking these pads and the wooden dummies. And everyone's going, everyone's going, oh, that wouldn't work, and it doesn't work, and well, boards don't hit back, and this and that and the next thing. But in real life, I was policing for 15 years. This is the sort of way that these things would be applied, and people wouldn't know what generally hit them. And it wouldn't take a lot of effort from me, and it would look fine, like on camera or whatever. And it's all proportionate, it's all justified. It's like, it's just like someone's trying to hit you, and then you go like that, look, I'm not saying it's not like the movies. I'm not saying you're gonna make one move and someone's gonna go, whoa, KO. But it's more damaging than you think. And that's the bonus of it. Like, if any of you guys have been hit in the stomach, or hit in the kidney, or hit in the liver, or hit in the sternum and the solar plexus, that you only get like one chance. Mm-hmm. You don't get multiple chances. You feel it straight away. And that's my experience, is that when you have an actual genuine assailant who's on drugs, who's on heightened aggression, adrenaline, and your adrenaline's going, these kinds of things you can employ, and they're effective because they've always been effective. They've been used for thousands of years, and that's why they were passed on. But then somewhere along the line, they've just been sausaged, and I guess iron palm or whatever's been like separated from just the general kung fu training applications and jiu-jitsu. Or I know it's not jiu-jitsu, but what I'm saying is the way you strike was filmified and stylized, and it's just and wushued, and this or this is turned into like whoa, and the way you hit is actually totally different. It's well known in Kung Fu that there's different kinds of power. There's like sticking power, there's projecting power, there's sinking power, rising power. There's all these names you can put on the power. But in general, this is like penetrating force, or ging, that goes in and kind of does a little circle, doesn't really project away. And there's different ways of training that power. All right. Jason T says wrist control is legit. Yeah, that's from my jiu-jitsu days. Brian says never hold on unless you know who you're fighting. Think about weapons. If you're holding, that limb can't be used. Yes, and that's what we were just talking about there. Like if you hold, you're gonna. In fact, we're taught the complete opposite in jiu-jitsu or in most proper martial arts. Like the best thing someone can do, it doesn't happen often, but it has happened to me from time to time. The best thing someone can do is literally like grab you and hold you with one arm. When's a good time that they do that is any kind of jiu-jitsu attacks or grappling, because they literally they give you all their weapons. And this is a great example of when the nice kidney shots come in. Because Dan comes in with some awesome wrestling, we're fighting, and he gets me in his wrestle, and this is lovely, because look here. Here I've got liver, I've got liver shot, and I've also got, look here, I've got kidney shot. Nice kidney, nice liver. And that's where this little game that we're playing is going to end for Dan. Because again, it's in that 1 second he's going to grab me and wrestle me, and then there's going to be like 4 or 5 of those. And I wish he could hold it behind him, but if he holds it in front of him so that you see, and I come behind, it's just really, it's like that. And Dan can tell you how horrible that's going to be, and that's going to be both of his kidneys, and you can see there's no wind up, brothers. Yeah. There's no wind up, and if there is a wind up, it only makes it worse. If you pin him down and pull him in and you give it a massive wind up, it's only going to be worse. And you give him like 1 or 2 of those quickly, bah! And then the thing is, like I said, you're not Saint Palm. You're not Shaolin Saint Palm. You're not going to go, yeah, and then stand there like this. He's going to come in, and you're going to be like, oh shit, wrestling, bit of a headbutt, kidney, And when he goes, oh, like he's gonna go, you can fuck off and get him with the elbow. And then you're gonna nail him with your hand, kick him away, or you're gonna wrestle him yourself, or you're gonna tie out his legs, or you're gonna do everything that you're capable of doing, that I'm capable of doing, that he's capable of doing. You're gonna do those same things, because we're martial artists. What we're not gonna do is we're not gonna be like, whoo, yeah, these are not nice forms. We're not. They look good, but we're not going to do that. Yeah, because we're not on an episode of It Man. So, anyway, how you doing, Dan?
Yeah, good.
Well, what do you have to add to it, bro? Sorry, I'm going crazy.
No, what can I say, bro? That's why I'm trying to avoid those strikes, because they do, again, it probably doesn't show up that well, and hence why you're using the iron skillet, but no, I can see those causing real problems.
Yeah, so, again, guys, this is why we got the skillet, because we were like, how can we show, it's also, you use it as a tool for training in certain styles of iron palm. I won't tell you how, but it's fairly obvious. But yeah, we wanted to show more than just a pad, because I think when you strike this skillet, you get an idea of the way you hit, and you can hear from it. It doesn't have to be hard, and it's like it's called ging. It's a particular way, or it's a way you train that's inherently in your movements. And it's just a way of striking that's, some could say it's kind of full of internal energy. You could call it that, but it's more like a practical training from force, whatever, I don't know. But you employ it to hit people in different places. So we've only explored liver, kidneys. I've done a bit of neck, side of the temple kind of stuff. And like I said, though, the biggest criticism of this is that people see it in the Kung Fu book. And, it's it'll be like it'll be like him doing one punch like this. And it'll be like, just do this one like this. Just stand there. It'll be like he does this. And it's like eagle escapes forest, and people are like, this is not realistic, yeah. But this is just the same, It's just literally a way of saying you palm them in the jaw, however you want to palm them in the jaw. If you're on the inside of their guard and you extend your hand and palm them in the jaw, that's what it looks like. In fact, if you take most of those kung fu moves and you imagine the striking point is half of what they show in the picture, or the point they show is the end of the strike, that's probably more realistic. In other words, the head is at the level of the elbow, and after the strike, the head's over there somewhere. That's kind of more realistic to what it would be. Does that make sense? No, probably not. Anyway, what do we got? Brian says BJJ is great for a police, not for street applications. 40% is out the door without mats. I'm weapon based. I highly don't recommend holding someone knives, gun, box cutters. Yep, definitely. Groin shots too. Yep, groin shots are in. Jason says you ought to patent an iron body conditioning armored vest to assist in training. Yeah, that would help. So that's, we got some more. I think there's another comment. What's this say? It's Penguin says, how would you throw it to make someone puke? I don't know, Penguin. Everyone's different. Again, if your intention was to try and hit someone to make them puke, you'd probably get knocked out. Because because like in real life, unless you were just doing it lamely to one of your friends, but in general, yeah, if you hit someone in the kidneys, they usually become if you hit someone in the liver, they will quite often vomit, because it's the same, it's that poison release into their body, and your natural reaction is to purge. So you might make them nauseous, you might make them vomit, like it's normal reaction, but I wouldn't set out to do that. Like it's not, yeah, it's a bit mean. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll keep asking about the vomiting thing.
Jason says, I did a short action scene in a movie. The choreographer said my moves were too realistic. The camera won't pick up on those moves. So everything is exaggerated. Yeah, yep, pretty much, bro. In real life, we're not going to move that way. If it was a free shot. I don't know, brother. That's, I don't know how you would, yeah, I don't know. Everyone's different, so I don't know how you would hit someone to make them puke. We don't want to do that. That's not.
Hit them in the groin.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
So yeah. So anyway, what have we learnt? What have we learnt today? Probably, I don't know. So what have we learnt today? Condition. So hopefully, how does iron palm actually work? It's not just the palm. It's conditioning of the whole. Basically, it's conditioning of the whole body, iron bone or whatever you want to call it. It starts from the top of the arm, it goes down, iron bridge, it's the whole hand, it's everything. You employ it with free movement, you employ it with whole body action, but then within that you can throw using just the arm or just the hand, and you doing like a shocking force. Obviously, the more body you add into it, the more shocking force you get with rising and sinking. And the ways of generating power are like, you guys, you know that. It's up to you to look into it and learn it as well. Jason says normal people won't understand these things. So what does it say? Normal people won't understand these things, so martial arts is simplified for normal audience to understand. Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's capable of understanding it. It's about just putting the training in. But yeah, certainly, like the stigma of it, that's why I made this video, is the stigma of it is there's a lot of iron palm kung fu training practice out there. But the general reality is you just do it to toughen your hands and body, and then you use them in the normal way you would strike with your martial art.
Yeah, you can combine that with any martial art.
Yeah. The caveat is there is actually a system of striking, and there's places where you strike to make it even more nasty. So like I don't waste iron palm or palm strikes. You can hit arm targets and the body and inside biceps to slap weapons away and just sting people, but in general it's going to do what a jab does, but in real you'll be punching, you'll be elbowing, you'll be hammer fisting, you'll be striking with the bridge of your hand and these knuckles to like the sternum, and then you'll be doing palm strikes to horrible organ spots like kidneys, liver, over the heart, stomach, on the inside of the thighs where you've got the arteries. It hurts like hell, and the inside of the head, back of the mandibles here. But again, it's up to your martial arts skill, and there is a system of how you can move to strike those places. But if you intend to strike them, you will not be able to hit them, which is like a weird. It's like a weird juxtaposition. In other words, that it has to be like we were exampling here. It has to be part of your free movement that your opponent doesn't detect. In other words, you've got to almost strike them when the opponent's like not going to expect you're going to strike them, if you can. If I just kind of go like this, liver, and try and hit his liver, he's just going to be like, whoa, what's going on here? So that's why it's so complicated, and that's why it's a martial art, because it's concealed behind multiple hits, feigns, for training. But for real life, you only going to be able to apply maybe 10%, or is it 1% of what you learn in real? So that's what we were trying to show you here, which is just like what we showed, and those couple that I showed you have like been very successful for me. Anything to do with bridges, like usually my most successful is bridge of the arm bone into the neck. I've used that quite a few times. And that stuns someone. If you do it with the bridge of the hand, it does the same. And again, you only have to do it about that hard. Austin Powers style judo chop. You will stun someone, and if you do it hard enough, you just literally knock them out. It's because there's a nerve there, and the way it acts on the brain, it just turns you off. So it works, 100%. It works, trust me. Then if you add into that the iron palm training, that's when it becomes more effective, like here. So that's why we wanted to show you the skillet, because we were trying to show that within the context of grappling and fighting, that you can just go, just in a short space of time and a little bit, you can generate like a nasty little bit of power that even if it's like just the side of someone's head. Some of you listening to this might have done Muay Thai or grappling or whatever, and someone just kind of catches you with a hit at the side of the head with the palm like this. They get you a bit too hard at the back of the head, or your mate or your dad or something like that's got you like that, back of the head, whack. It's that same kind of thing. Anything to add on to that, Dan?
No, not really.
Jason says, serious question, can a martial artist in their 40s begin iron body conditioning? Yes. Can begin it in any age. Always strike force, says Brian. Yes, preemptive striking is often the best way to go. Learn laws and personal space. Yes, that's a good one. Learn laws about personal space. I think that's the last comment. Pull those off. Oh no, we don't want to stop streaming. No, it's going to stop streaming. So, hopefully this didn't look like a clown. It probably just looked like a clown college, didn't it?
Well, I hope not. No, shouldn't do.
Yeah. So, maybe this video will appear on like McDojo Life or something, and people will be tearing it for being a clown college, but
well, they can, but I would just say take some of those, and you might change your opinion on them.
But again, caveat, like I'm not saying this is the ultimate fighting and you're going to beat UFC characters and you're going to be a legend, and this is to be better than you would have been. And this was just meant to be a shitty little demonstration of how doing a bit of conditioning, and a certain kind of power generation with your body movements can add something to your repertoire. And like I said, I've had to be a bit biased towards palm strikes because this is a palm strike video. But as I've also tried to inject in here, it's not palm, it's everything you can do. 16 different fists, and whatever martial art you do, you've got hammer fists, you've got these knuckles, you've got back fists, you've got the knuckles of this finger, Boshiken style, crane beaks, normal fists, phoenix eye fists, whatever you hit, and hitting with these bones, hitting with the inside of these bones, every kind of hit that you can do, elbows, headbutts, shoulder shunts, body checks, wrestling, it's all one thing, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's for your martial arts to build, and I was trying to demonstrate the ability to have not impervious, but the ability to have a strong guard or damaging guard, strong bones for clearing guards. And you clear them with your natural movements, or however someone punches, you move and it goes above, you deflect. You very rarely take anything head on. Deflecting, slipping, catching, and then every now and then grabbing and striking, different bone targets or whatever, bicep, these are totally things for you to explore in your martial arts, as is the different organ hitting that we were doing. Hopefully it's pretty much common knowledge, but maybe most people don't know how you might strike it, or they wouldn't believe. They wouldn't believe that if you go just like this, literally in almost like a walking motion, if you just go almost like a walking motion like this into someone's kidney, into someone's liver, that they're going to go, oh, and they're going to feel sick. And that's only just one, boom. And then you've got them, say, back of the head as well, boom. Side of the head, neck, the throat, boom. Then you've got your fists, boom, boom, elbows, boom, boom, knees, head, Yeah. Jason says, I understood the demonstration. That's good. Brian saying he's 57. He'd been doing iron palm. I think he says iron palm. And fist training for about 4 years. I'm going through 1-inch concrete patio blocks, fist and palm strike. Yeah, so that's good. So hopefully Brian, who's been doing his iron palm training, and he's probably, you see, a lot of people do the iron palm training, and they will have that power generation, but not everyone actually knows or thinks about how it actually applies, because obviously a lot of the slab breaking is just down like this, but it doesn't matter, because inherently you've got the density in your bone. That's kind of what this scenario is trying to show, is that you use this same empty force, but obviously you just use it in all directions. That's the kind of gist of it. But you couple it with normal striking. But even within, when I've got an iron ball bearing bag that I hang, iron sands full of iron sand, and even within that, free tip for you guys, but you can check out my Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course on Udemy. It's linked up to my other videos. But I will do these same kind of strikes into that bag, where I'll just hang it and I'll just sink my hand into it, and try not to fling it away. I'll just try and dead hit it. It's free swinging, but like I said, the projecting power and the sticking power are two different kinds of power. So this power we're using here is this sticking power. It's considered, even within Shaolin, to be the most dangerous kind of power, is this internal shocking force that goes in and doesn't project things away. In fact, they say in Shaolin that you project away to be friendly to your enemy. Like this, and projecting away, and you see it in the films. But you do this kind of sticking power. This is to kill, with inverted commas. Because we're not killing people, but they've kind of, you can, if you're especially higher levels, but it's not it's not like kill, it's not like in the kung fu films you touch someone and they die, it just means kill. You can exchange kill with just cause damage, maybe more damage than you think. Jason says, also, I appreciate that you're sharing power generation and conditioning to supplement one's own style. Yeah, so there we go, bro. That's something I like to do in IBMA, so that's my kind of umbrella of what I call what I do, iron body martial arts, and I like to it's more the conditioning, and then, because when you start sharing techniques and methods, unless it's within your own system to like your own people. You know, obviously everyone does things differently, so they're like, oh, that won't work, this won't work, I don't do that. And my answer to that is, well, if you don't do that, don't do that. You make it work yourself. I'm just kind of showing you some principles here of how it works, and you figure it out. If it's not going to work for you, don't do it. You know, like if it's not how your system does things, then use this to benefit your system in a way that you can, or don't use it. It's not my problem. Like I'm not going to be offended. You know. Right on, brother. Penguin says, how much damage does that do to the stomach? It's not so much the stomach. And in answer, I don't know. I've never quantified it. But to the liver and to the internal organs, it'll at least shock them and hurt them. You know, like the same as a boxing match or something. You know what happens. You get punched a few times in the kidneys. People are pissing blood.
Well, I was gonna say, but also, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud too. That like versus like a fist as well. Your hand is there's a lot more real estate to probably to get the liver as well.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a nice
as well.
big
To
shot.
capture.
Yeah, it's designed. Well, okay, let me explain it this way. These kinds of hits are specifically designed to generate hydraulic shock. Now, what's hydraulic shock? It's literally that. So they will penetrate soft tissue and cause like vibrations at a frequency that hurts things inside. That's why when you see people doing these iron palm demonstrations, they put like a book down, like a book, and they hit the book, and then the pads break underneath, usually, because the hydraulic shock is kind of traveling through the paper, and the paper's actually, the book or the pad is kind of breaking the things below them. It's the hydraulic shock going through those things. Then you take away the book, and you will see far less people striking the blocks without a phone book or a book, just with nothing. Because obviously your hand has to be so much more tougher. Then your hands are what delivering the hydraulic shock. And that's the same as in the body here. It's this hydraulic shock in, and yeah, anyone who trains the iron palm or has tried some of these breaks, you will get it. You know, you'll know exactly what I mean. Yeah.
And like you said, bro, from the other sort of realm, from the like a sport combo, like Rutan and pancreas is a great example.
Yeah.
Is the hand strike.
Yeah, and there we go. Bas Rutan and pancreas is a great example.
Yeah.
You know, you see how those guys strike in pancreas, and they're doing the palm strikes, and this sort of particular way of striking would have definitely have helped them in that.
There's many knockouts.
Yeah,
videos
and you see all the people getting stunned, and you know, what do we got? MMA, Brian says learn MMA. I'd agree with that, learn MMA.
MMA is good, yeah.
Jason says, I think most people don't know about soft style strikes and how damaging they can be, or applying power with soft strike. Yes. Brian says, did the Joe in the beginning, it helps the healing process. Yeah, definitely. Even after this little training session, I'll be putting some Dip to Joe on, because obviously, as you guys can see, I've been striking this iron skillet quite a lot of times, so it'll just kind of help me with the healing process. Different types of power. No one is talking about this stuff. Awesome stuff. Oh, well, thank you, Jason. I mean, it's kind of known kung fu stuff, but maybe no one's talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. My martial arts channel is a little bit niche. It's been going for years. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, no one talks about it. That's why I'm kind of like an underground channel. That I've been here since the dawn of YouTube time. Yeah. I don't tend to talk crap, but I'm not super popular either. Jason, once you condition hard to soft, soft to hard is less important. I have no fear, fist to head. Yes, I can break my hand, but the likelihood is they will make sense. Yeah. So Brian's saying, you know, with his conditioning that he's done, because he's said that he's been doing iron palm conditioning on the slabs and stuff, you know, he's not worried about hitting bone or hitting someone's head. And certainly, like, I would agree, I'm the same. I mean, you know, I've not got the sort of craziest fist in the world, but you can see my fists are kind of a bit gnarled. And yeah, if I hit someone, you know, I should be all right, or at least I won't break my hand as much as I would have done, and you know, hammer fist or whatever. But one thing I would say to Brian is, if you are then striking the hard target, striking the soft to hard targets, you're going to have even more impact, you know. Yeah, but also we got to be real, guys. Like, everything devolves when you're actually in combat, and you've got to, basically, I would say, you've just got to pick at little opportunities that come your way, and that's all you can do. And if you're lucky, you get a good opportunity and you fill it with the right tool. And if you're not, you fill it with the wrong tool and it's ineffective. That's kind of the way I would describe real combat from my 15 years of experience of being a police officer. And 7 of those years were in a jurisdiction where we didn't have firearms. And I didn't have a taser. I was UK back in, was it 2010? Before 2010 and onwards. And I didn't have a taser. I didn't have a firearm. I just had a baton, I had some spray, I had my cuffs. That's all I had. And everyone wanted to fight because they were like, and you were single crewed. So you'd rock up and you'd be like, bro, you're under arrest. I was in my early to mid 20s. I turned up babyface. I'd be like, bro, you're under arrest. And they'd look at me and go, bro, no, I'm not. What are you going to do? And then these sorts of scenarios would ensue. And I was notorious for not using my accoutrements, as in I didn't use my spray. I only had a spray and a baton. I didn't use those. I was just like hands-on wrestling, striking and doing my little kung fu stuff on my locks. And pretty much 7.5 years of that, and I came away, you know, I more or less came away on top. You know, I didn't fail in my endeavors. I didn't get seriously injured. Once I popped out my ankle in a fight in a hotel room, but then I popped it back in and managed to win. So that's another story. I've told it already on this channel. But yeah, and then there was 7 more years of being an armed police officer in Australia. So there we go. Palm strikes to the body, super underrated and almost unheard of now, except for your mention of Baz Rutten. Don't know why no one does it anymore. Well, bro, the thing is, someone might do it, and you'll just be surprised by it. Well, no one does it anymore because it's not mainstream. But if someone like we're doing here, I would be walking down the street. I'm 6 foot tall. I weigh like 85 kilos, and I'm not the biggest person in the world. But, you know, just much like the people who I had to deal with, you know, usually bigger than me. I'm stronger than I look because I've trained all the time. I'm always training grip strength. I'm always training. So I'm a bit stronger than I look. You know, so people underestimate me. But yeah, you know, this is the exact sort of thing people get. You know, and probably even people watching this channel for years might be surprised by this demonstration, because I've never really done a demonstration like this before, showing the way that you apply these strikes, and they might be surprised, be like, oh shit, actually that's really nasty, you know, like these liver shots and these kidney shots. Yeah, so Brian says, I go for the eye socket. Yeah, eye socket's an evil one. Actually, the cheek, underneath the cheek here, that's why this is a horrible one, is a nerve bundle under the cheek bone. So again, if you strike into this cheekbone, and again, the same with jiu-jitsu, when you're grappling someone, you're wrestling someone, you're on the floor, and at any point, if you can freeze the head, like you get into a grapple or they've got you in a clinch, if any point where you get the head frozen, or what I mean is jarred up against something or against yourself, and you deliver, like a palm strike or like a knuckle strike or however you want to do it, even if it's a fist. But if you can bridge the head and you deliver a specific fist, like in this way we're talking about, or side, like this, into the cheek bundle, and you can crack that, it's immensely painful. But again, that's just a point. If you try and do it, you try and go fighting someone trying to do that, you'll just get knocked out. So again, it's what I was saying about opportunities and then filling them. If the opportunity arises and you're fucking jujitsu'd and someone's grappling you or whatever, and they're down on the floor, and you can slip one of those strikes into this clever place and you remember it, then that's when you can use it, only when the opportunity affords itself. If you go forcing the opportunity, you'll get knocked out, you'll lose. It's like that thing we all go from back in the day in traditional martial arts. They always used to say, don't force it, don't try a technique. They used to teach you a technique, and then they used to go, don't try and do it. And then you used to be confused. Because you used to be, oh, hold on a minute, you've taught me this technique, this kung fu move or this jujitsu move. I mean like traditional jujitsu, Japanese style. You've taught me this move, and now you're telling me not to do the move. And ultimately their wisdom prevails, because if you try and do the move, more often than not, you will not do it and you'll get knocked out. Where BJJ succeeds is that BJJ is awesome, and I've trained BJJ too, because BJJ is the ultimate lesson in trying the move, because that's what you do. You learn the move, and then you try the move until you can actually do the move. So it's funny because it kind of flies in the face. It's really traditional, but in the same time, it kind of flies in the face of traditional. But ultimately, if you look back, the old way of training jiu-jitsu, traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu, was you would just drill the same move over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that you just had the muscle memory. So that if someone put themselves in this position, you'd be like, doo-doo, I can fill it with that move. And if someone put themselves in that position, you'd be like, boom, boom, I can fill it with that move. So, and I guess BJJ is like the evolution of that, which is cool. It's cool. But it's also cool to know that things like this with the iron palm, like when I was training my jiu-jitsu, when I was training BJJ and wrestling with these guys, obviously they can do the same thing to you. That's what you have to remember. But all the time I was training, I was like, man, I just hit this guy here. I just hit him here. I grab his neck. I gouge his eye. I'd do this. I'd be here. I'd pull him in, and I'd get him with this side of this knuckle in the side of his head. Boom, just like this. I'd do this. I'd do that. And I didn't used to do it to them. I didn't even used to tell them. But sometimes I just used to literally just touch. They didn't even know. They'd be wrestling, and I just touch it like this. And in my own heart, I was like, yeah, that would hurt. Or we'd be like this, and I'd just have my hand like this, and whilst I had a thing of their collar, I'd let go, and I just touch there. And they literally wouldn't notice in the wrestle. But it was just my way of going like, okay, he's on top of me on guard. I would grab the back of his head, frozen it in place, and I would have just gone like that, bam, and done one of these nasty little blade strikes right there in between here, bam, like that, and just watched him go, oh, and it would have hurt really, really badly. I'm not saying it would have KO'd him and he would have exploded, but per capita, if you understand what I'm saying, it would have been more than the sum of its parts. It would have been enough. It would have been more than the sum of its parts. Because again, it's a small surface area, magnified force. I don't need a lot to do it. And it would have just been like, come here, bang, like that. And it would have been like, oh, and then the next thing would have happened, and the next thing, and the next thing. A good example of that is where, again, I've told the story, is where someone was on top of me. It was a real situation. We'd fallen over. They fell on top of me because I was chasing them through the street, trying to push them out of the road. And then we fell, and actually I grabbed them by the neck and threw them down, but then they fell on top of me, then they're on top of me, and they're about to hit me, and I just did I grabbed them around this, and I pulled them in, and then I removed one of their posts and I flipped them round. And then so real jiu-jitsu wise, this person's on their back, and in jiu-jitsu lesson it would have been carried on wrestling, but no. In real life what I did, they were pinned down, but I had hold of their arms. So we're both in a checkmate. But real life, I just went 1-2, gave them 2 headbutts in the face, really the short ones, not big ones, because they could have moved out of the way and I would have headbutted the ground. I just did 2 short headbutts, 1-2, and then they like got stunned, and then I did a big elbow down, bam, on the top of just into their face, you know, and then they got like stunned and like nearly knocked out, you know, and it was and again, it wasn't, you know, that's the reason they didn't get like super knocked out and destroyed, because it was just like 1, 2, 3. You know, just easy amount of effort that you can generate nice and quickly in real life. And they were stunned, and then I turned them around and I put them in cuffs and they were arrested. You know, and that's what happened in that scenario. You know, like it's a longer story than that, but that was cool because it was just a real little scenario of what happened. You know, they went from a position of power, and then it was like, you know, it's BJJ 101, but then it turns into real life where, like, if I was locked into the BJJ mindset, I would have been there carrying on wrestling with them. No, in real life, you see an opportunity, head, face, headbutt, elbow, win. You know, that's it. That's how it works. You know? And I'm not very good, so what have we got now? Brian says Baz is the man. Jason says pop the ankle back in. The whole thing is a badass origin story. Yeah, I've told that one before. That was cool because that was kind of like a Jason Bourne little hotel fight almost, that one. And then my ankle popped out. Brian says, and he funny as well. I presume he means Baz Rutten. Baz Rutten is a funny guy. Jason says palm strike to the orbital. 2 surgeries later, civil suit. Yep, got to watch out for those. Sounds nasty. That's why I said run. If you don't run, it's harder to say self-defense. Yeah, so on Brian's topic there, obviously, so my point of view is coming, you see, I was the person who had to go towards the danger, because obviously I, as the policeman, can't run. You call me, I come for you, or I come to help you. If I'm running away, we're all having a bad day. So yeah, so you have to forgive me. I offer a lot of advice, but my advice is from the place of someone who has to fight. A lot of my scenarios are because I've turned up and there's aggression and I have to deal with it. I'm the one. The line stops with me. And yeah.
True, but to your point, still though, someone I don't know if Brian was saying it, but also that could happen to someone, couldn't it? That they were defending themselves and they pushed someone over, and the heavier person fell on top of it.
Oh yeah,
that's the most successful way you could have disabled probably that person.
And you know, also, you know, I would say it's up to you, fight or flight.
Sure.
But you know, it's up to you. If you can run away, it's all scenario dependent. Sometimes you can't run. So in general, not in general, but when I'm talking about stuff, just take it as like running away is a given, and we haven't been able to do that. You know, like there's all sorts of talk we could talk about, like you're in a mall or something and there's an active armed attacker, you know, so that's not just an active shooter, but it's someone with anything, knife, pipe, you know, going at people, and you think, well, I'm going to have a go at dealing with this person if you feel like it, or they confront you and there's nowhere to go. Obviously, running and disengaging from the scenario and not engaging in the scenario, like I could talk all day about the pre-fight, which I have in a lot of videos, and the impact factors and the threat assessment, because that's my bread and butter, you know, from policing for all these years. But in general, you'll have to forgive me, like I'm thrust into the situation, and I'm the guy that like deal with that, Brett, and I can do a tactical retreat at times, but I very rarely ever did that, because it's not my character. I was always a bit dumb, and I thought like I'm going to deal with this, and quite often I would get angry and be like, this isn't right, or I'd be like, and then I'd be stuck there, having to deal with it, whether it's for my own fault or not. So yeah. But I don't know. I also, yeah. If you did like a mock run, certainly for like, and that's another thing with the palm styles. Like they look good on camera, and it's good. Like, hey man, like that's all great. Like we were doing there. Like when I was first confronting Dan, I was like, hey bro, you better chill out. Like this kind of hand movements, these are great. And this doesn't mean they're not real from your heart as well. It's like, hey, bro, but they can still be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like this hand move like this, like someone mentioned snake or mantis. This hand move like this, for me, can like if I bring my little skillet back from here, can just be that, straight away. There's no problem, and it's not hard for me to do, and again, like there's more power than you think, and I'm not saying it's like knockout power, but it's like, you're just a few moments away from the person, and they're like, oh, and then that's when you come in with your, one of those as a jab, and then you come in with a big hit, and you're coming in with the rest of your stuff, or however your martial art is. Like that's what I'm saying, like, or you use the, hey bro, and you use this to clear their guard away, and then you just boom on the bridge, under the bridge of the nose, or the jaw, or the side of the neck. These are just small little moves. And when you do this, look, your elbow as well. So it's like boom, boom, elbow. It's just lots of little horrible things you can do. Like you see them flow drills or whatever you want to call them. You all right there, Dan? Sir?
Yeah.
Dan's dying of boredom over there. We'll finish this up soon. Prince Josh says, sir, how to gain weight. Well, you got any ideas on how to gain weight there, Dan, for Prince Josh?
No, what sort of way are we talking?
Brian says, I hope I'm never in that situation again. I probably hit harder than I had to. Been in a fight. Who's thinking about that? I wished I did. Oh, okay, I think Brian, I might have missed it, but I think Brian was saying he might have got himself in trouble or something, defending himself. I might have missed when it was. Jason says, I can relate to the BJJ story, grappled a bit. I'm finding zones to strike, but they don't know. I often swept opponents to get back on my feet, and the sensei would get mad because he was all the sport. Yeah. Goddamn, a reversal, 2 short headbutts and an elbow. Yep. Thanks, Jason. That was from my headbutt story.
Yeah, brother. Again, you probably reiterated on, but there were actually some really important key points as well that you made about that situation. Is that, for people who like to watch the MMA and stuff with the gloves, is you didn't raise up and launch fists down. And there's a whole reasoning behind that.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching MMA or something, you didn't raise up and launch punches down to the concrete. You didn't do a headbutt full from the... Like, those are key points too.
Yeah.
And you used an elbow.
Yes.
Like those are pretty...
Oh, yeah, so
points.
my bro's slightly out of camera. But he raised a good point. Obviously, in real life, with that wrestling scenario, like on the street, on the concrete, like, obviously, again, if I'd been overzealous and I tried to do these big headbutts on this guy, I would have headbutted the floor most likely, because guess what? People move out the way, or he would have put his arms up or something. Oh, mind you, I was holding his arms, sorry, so he couldn't have done that. But he might have moved his head, so I would have headbutted the floor. And again, if I'd taken my arms away to start throwing punches down, there's an unacceptable risk to just punch the concrete. And you do that once, doesn't matter how much iron palm training you've done, but you're hitting into the floor, you can damage your hand, so then one of your hands is out of action. Brian says, I already paid for this free knowledge. I don't know. Oh, unless Brian's a supporter on Patreon or something, in which case, thanks, Brian, legend. Unless he's talking about something else. But yeah, it's good people like him that support me when I appear. And yeah, everyone appreciates the support if that's what you're saying. And in which case, apologies. I've been a bit scarce for different life reasons. Yeah, and again, what Brian says about a lawsuit, like, again, this whole, I mean, my job was legally assessing everything, like the amount of times I rocked up at things and people were saying I defended myself. And what I would say is usually, in a lot of cases where someone's claiming self-defense, it has to be proportionate. Oh, Brian's saying the free knowledge of being sued. Okay, sorry, bro. I was following something else. But usually in cases where people claim self-defense, you sort of universally, it has to be proportionate, it has to be justified, and it has to be necessary. Those are usually the laws there. And if it's different in different places and different states and different countries, but usually judged by a reasonable person, is it those things, or a jury, or whatever. So that's the minefield that you have to go through. And that's based on what others see, what you say, and this and that and the next thing. And obviously I'm not a legal advisor, but you just have to be careful with all of those things.
Right, and I suppose to add to that, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I suppose a jury or a judge that may also look into if you have public evidence of your martial art skills too, I assume. Would they?
Oh, they may do, but that would be rare. A lot of the times it'll be actually just the officer dealing with you, or his sergeant who judge on most cases where there's not a high level of injury, whether you're like, do we think at the sort of intermediate level, and I've done it a lot, I look at things, broken nose, bit of an injury, and I would be like, is this self-defense? Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I'd be like, is this self-defense or not? Do I believe the guy? Okay. If so, I'd usually let him off. If there's a higher threshold of injury to any party, then like the cop or his boss usually can't decide, or maybe his boss can. And then usually if there's a higher threshold, not sure about America, but I presume if you're using firearms and stuff, then it's stuff like that. It's got to go to some kind of court hearing where the judge will decide. And again, it's based on those things. Evidence, what you say, what other people have seen. And that's why obviously people get legal advice, and you've got to be careful about what you say. But also, hopefully you act truthfully and honestly, which is what I support in this channel. I support reasonable force, I support justified, and I support necessary force at all times. But to me, that's as much force as is necessary to gain control. And that's always what we had in the cops. It was the amount of force you needed to gain control of the situation, and that's a sliding scale. So yeah, but that's a different topic. Like, we can do videos on that. Brian says, always walk in peace until peace is broken. God bless it all. Yes, God bless. There's not enough God blessings going around. Wow, look at that, 1 hour and 52 minutes. No one's going to watch this video.
How many people did you have on that?
I think we had a couple. I think at one point we had like 6, but there's probably like a cycle of people who come through. It's good to do a video again. It was great to have Dan to do my silly little cast iron skillet video. Let me guys know what you think in the comments. Hopefully, we weren't sure, like when I said, like, I want to do a demonstration video of how these iron palm hits, how you do them on a person. But I was like, I'm not sure how we can demonstrate it where it's just not going to look dumb. And then for some reason I thought, well, let's try hitting this skillet, because then it'll give people an idea of like the force. We've got another thumbs up, I think. We'll get an idea. I don't know, maybe we lost connection. I think we lost connection. Anyway, I was saying how I wanted to use the skillet because I was hoping then people would see kind of how the force hits, and they get an appreciation for like how actually not dangerous, but how powerful it is, like how horrible it is and how it feels by a sound or by the look. because everyone probably can go home and you can pick up an iron skillet and then you can kind of hold it and go like, you can tap it or hit it and go like, and you can go like, ooh, you know, I don't particularly want to hit that. Maybe I can, you know, I can have an understanding for the level of conditioning, which I'm not saying is high, but the kind of force that's being applied. I can give it a go myself. I can feel, I can, you know, do that thing myself. And I can think, you know, oh yeah. And so we thought we'd show it on the thing and on the pad. And so let me know what you guys think. Yeah, Brian says I'm going to go try put dents in a frying pan now. Yeah, just remember that your aluminium frying pan's different to this cast iron skillet. Yeah, this is an iron skillet. So, but yeah, the aluminium. I've got a video somewhere of me rolling up one of those aluminium pans. But yeah, you can do it on an aluminium pan. But obviously, just remember that aluminium just doesn't have the density. You know, so the whole reason is it's an iron cast iron skillet is just for that iron. You know, the density, the heaviness, the atomic weight. You know, that's really what it's for. But yeah, anyway. Hopefully you guys got an impression that was better than me just doing it on a pad, because I think I've done it on a pad before, and you know it just doesn't come across. Jason says shorten the video later to just you and Dan. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Doing the demonstrations, it was good knowledge shared. Yeah, thanks Jason. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Brian, thanks a lot with laughing faces. I didn't think of that. Yeah, Brian, yeah. So, you know, because you said you, thank you all for sharing your knowledge. Lots of reflect on applying training. Yeah, good luck, Jason. Remember my channel. Please share it with your friends. Go and have a look. Like and subscribe. Iron Body Martial Arts. If you want, have a look on Patreon or on one of my links. There's Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course. It's not super cheap, but it's like got all the different training methods, because you might not know from my channel, but so look, to train iron palm and the things we're showing you here, to actually get the skill, it's not just about hitting stuff. There's lots of different ways, from the 72 Secret Arts of the Shaolin, which is a free book you can get, but I've made it my life to study that book. I've been studying it and training it for like more than 20 something years, but yeah, there's lots of different methods for generating force and power, and that course that I do, but it's also on loads of my videos, but I can't condense them for you. That little course I made is like a really good foundation for how to start and get good results, and it's got the iron sand palm, and it's got different gadgets, and it's about you have to strengthen your grip and your finger strength and your muscle strength and your whole arm, and then you got to do the striking, and then there's like some qigong as well, which is just like physiotherapy. It's a way of healing it's a long subject. I could go on for it forever, but anyway, check out my videos. Please like and subscribe, share the videos and share the channel. I mean, I've got a video of me, if you guys haven't seen, it's a short, but I've made a long video of me holding a rebar and striking it with my hand and bending it with the strikes. You know, so again, people don't understand. That's what I was trying to show with the skillet, although my level of conditioning isn't that high at the moment. You know, when I'm talking about, you know, blocking someone's, you know, movements and just going like this and hitting them in the neck or the jaw, like you've got to, when you're hitting a rebar and bending it, that's what I mean. You've got to project that power. You know, this is an example. Like, that's why we're trying to use the skillet. It's got nothing to do with me being amazing, but I'm just trying to show, like, this is the, you know, I wasn't trying to show it there, by the way, but this is the, you know, it's an example of how easy you generate the power, you know, and when I was doing that demonstration, I'm trying to show that, hey, look, if I can chop a piece of steel rebar 7 or 8 times and it bends, then, you know, you chop someone's jaw or their neck, it's going to hurt them. You know, I'm not saying it's going to knock them out. I'm not saying you're going to win the fight like Bruce Lee, but you're going to be damn sight better than you would have been. You know, that's what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyway. Brian says framework's important. Brian says I'll be a Patreon once my work comes back in spring. Well, yeah, thanks for that, Brian. I need to work on Patreon. I've got to admit that. At the moment, I've just encouraged people to join it to like support the channel. You don't have to join at any of the higher levels because I'm just struggling to find time to put content on there. But it supports this content and it actually helps me out. So if you guys do enjoy the channel, by all means do that. But there's no pressure to do that. Like and sub, share it to your friends. My channel is way underrated because it's a bit niche. It's a known channel. It's been sort of awarded in the past a couple of times by different people who've rated it, but it largely goes unnoticed. Also, I've been busy, so also I talk shit, so it doesn't matter. Brian says, thanks for your time in teaching others your knowledge. I'm selfish in this area due to it's such a game changer. Yeah, I've had backlash, specifically in the past in the Iron Palm circles, because about 15, 16 years ago, if you have a look how old my channel is, back in 2015 or whatever, I got a lot of flack because I came out to YouTube and I was doing the breaking and stuff, and I was showing the training, I was showing the Qigong, and obviously just like now, I wasn't charging anything, I was just telling people, look, this is how you train, and the channel was like a demonstration of how you train. At that time, there was no channel that did that. There was nowhere you could go and you could, because I was a person who loved Iron Palm and training, and I didn't get my knowledge that way. There was nowhere you could go and learn Iron Palm and learn the knowledge, and it was all books and secret things and like dark internet. I don't mean like the actual dark web, but I mean like stuff in America and yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Jason says, I'll check out your videos and Udemy. Awesome channel. Glad I found it. Thank you again. Brian says, you should be paid. This is a lost art.
Yes.
Brian, well, before we go, this is something me and my brother were just talking about today, is that a lot of the reason that I'm not making that many videos these days is, like, obviously I work away. I used to be in the police. I'm not in the police anymore, but I work away, and then I come back. I've got my little kids that I have to look after. I'm a single dad at the moment. I got to look after my little kids. Like my time is precious, and it cost, and yeah, like you say, like gaming channels and other channels, and they make they just rake in the money, and people are really generous, and obviously martial arts channels. Well, look, you guys go back, look at my channel. I've been doing it for 15, 16, 17 years or whatever it is on here, and you don't make money. I just do it as a hobby. It would be cool, like it's everyone's dream to be able to support themselves, or at least make a decent amount with giving out this knowledge or sharing or whatever. And of course it's my dream to, that's kind of what I was trying to do with Patreon, but it kind of never took off. My fault as well. Like, I'm going to blame me because I would need to invest more time and more money and this and that, and I'm not saying that's not coming. Because my circumstances are changing at the moment. But anyway, it's awesome. Great to have you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your interaction. Please do like and sub and share. But it's very niche as well. That's another thing, bros. Like, if you go to the mainstream of martial arts, kicking and punching and stuff like that, and roundhouses and Sensei Seth and stuff like that, I like that Sensei Seth. He's a nice guy. And Mikey Mike, Icy Mike, and those channels, that's kind of where most people sit on martial arts. It's only more since MMA, and I'm before MMA, but since MMA and BJJ, it's only now that people are kind of a bit more technical. They've realized that there's more of a technical aspect to martial arts, but now people are only interested in the new age technical, and if it's not MMA and stuff like this, they're not interested. Which is why I've always staunchly held my channel's position of it's kind of trying to be traditional martial arts used effectively, but for real, because I had to use it for real. But it also incorporates BJJ and MMA and stuff like that, because to me that's what I've been doing all along. Like I was doing MMA before MMA existed, because I've always been cross training, mixing different martial arts and this and that and the next thing. So it does, you know, I've always been a kind of Bruce Lee-esque mindset of like take what works and run with it. But you know, I didn't allow myself to get encapsulated in my martial arts culture so much that I would believe it was the be all and end all, you know, like. But I don't believe that's the way forward. And sorry to be lame, but the streets, well, they didn't teach me that. But if anything needed to teach me that, the 15 years of the streets would have taught me that. But luckily, I was already wiser than that. Prior to me arriving in my role as a police officer, I already had a cross-training mindset. I already had a mindset of like, you know, I was the guy who'd turn up and do his traditional martial arts training and then kind of be like, oh, you know, like I enjoyed that, but like I don't think this would work, and that was a bit lame, and you know, but I put up with it and I trained it and I got good benefits, you know, like anyway. Brian says, and I'm glad as well, because martial arts is out the door in true combat. I've proven that because you're fighting someone out of your realm. Yeah. BJJ is slowly fading due to how it's taught. They roll with females. I'm 6'2", 27, I can't see that, 270 pound, a purple belt couldn't stop me. Yeah, well, yeah, there we go. But one thing I would say to that is give it a try. Because, I mean, you may have done that, Brian. Like, I'm not saying you haven't. And also a good point, in real life is different. But imagine you're facing, you see, you got to always, like, you don't be angry at me for reminding you this, but we've got to train to face our best opponent. So imagine that you face Brian tomorrow. Like, mirror yourself and go, hold on, tomorrow I face Brian. He's 6'2", 270 pounds. He does everything I do, and he does jiu-jitsu. Who's going to win? He knows all my tricks. He knows all my games.
Or maybe he's even taller.
Yeah, maybe he's taller. Maybe he's bigger. Maybe he's stronger. So sorry to be that guy who does that to you, but that's something I always try and remind myself. Do you know the reason why I remind myself? Because it's freaking happened to me. You know, like I've, you know, I thought I was pretty strong, and then I've like fought people who were like insanely strong, you know, whether it's because of drugs or whatever, and like your best thing that you thought was your best thing doesn't work on them. And then you're like, oh no, like what do I fall back on? So like, yeah, so I mean, it's maybe an imaginary scenario, but size isn't always gonna be the winner. And if you let, you know, forgive me for reminding you, but this is like for the betterment of us all. If you let the ego of that give you a confidence, that is a mirror that can be one day shattered. And things like that happen when you least expect it. So, and the reason I say that is just the story I told you about when I popped my ankle out was a similar story to that, where I thought I was completely physically and technically capable to control this situation I was in, this fight I was in. Then my ankle popped out unexpectedly because of a movement we made. And all of a sudden, in my mind, I went from not a worry in the world to, oh shit, I didn't think about what would happen when I got injured in this fight right now. So I got injured. Then I'm falling to the floor, and someone's trying to wail at me on punches, and they've got mental health like schizophrenia. They were out of it. And then all of a sudden I started to worry. Like I was like, oh shit.
You could get killed.
Yeah. So I'm alone in a hotel room with the schizophrenic. They're starting to wail on me, and I've just popped my foot out. Like it popped out on the inside. I didn't roll it on the outside. The bone went pop, and then it popped back. So yeah. So yeah. Anyway. Don't need me to tell you that. Another story for another time. But yes, in general, also to agree with you on a point, like I perfectly understand where you're coming from. Like what we were just saying with the strikes and with the real combat and stuff like that. Like yeah, you could, but also remember, everything you can do to someone, they can do to you. So yeah, if your mindset is like, oh, I would win this confrontation because I would do this and I would do that, just remember someone else can do the same. And if it's someone else who can wrestle better than you and they can do that as well, then you're at a disadvantage. So yeah, we got to be careful of that and always remind ourselves of those things. It's just like all this iron palm stuff, you know. Like if I sat here thinking this was the be all and end all, I'd just get knocked out. You know, I'd be here like trying to palm people and pat them, and you know, no, it's part of a larger pie. Without the rest of the pie, you might as well be in a kung fu movie, you know. Yeah, you know, or you've got to take it to a level that's insane, you know, where you've got like one of those big giant puffed up hands. But even then, like you know, if you've got a big puffed up hand, that doesn't mean you doesn't stop you getting knocked out. So. You know, like yeah, you've got one hell of a deadly right hand, but you know you don't have an iron chin, you know, and don't ever try and train an iron chin because other than neck strength, you know, there's no way. Now, Brian says, I don't fight to win, I fight for pain compliance. Who wins fight? No one is hurt. No one, it hurts our spirit. Yeah, that's it, brother. Anyway, Dan, thanks for your help, bro. Sorry this went on for too long. Yeah, everyone out there, thanks for watching if you watched. Again, 2 hours of my rambling. I don't know, does this count as a podcast? I don't know what it counts as.
I don't know, because there were demos, maybe.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one, and yeah, keep up the good work, keep up your training. Know that there's still some little facets of traditional martial arts out there, and there's still a few tricks that work. But go and train MMA, go and train your BJJ, go and train wrestling, go and do all those cool things. And then add these things to that pie.
Add it to any
if you want to. If you don't want to train those things, you don't have to train those things. It's fine.
But like we were saying, bro, the truth of the matter is, it's like when I started the MMA, like in 2019, I took on the knuckle conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I'd argue just you might get some counter arguments on that, but I just think if you're doing any martial art, any of these conditionings will just improve your skill.
So I mean, you got to forgive us. This video wasn't the training; it was just some striking demonstration. But like my brother was saying, when he started training MMA a couple of years ago, the first thing he did was come to me. I mean, I've always been training in the background, doing my own body martial arts. But the first thing he did is come to me, and he was like, "Hey, Beach, like." I was punching the bag the other day and my wrist bent, and also I can't punch the bag without wraps. I mean, that's something I mean, he's seen it for years. When I punch a boxing bag or a heavy bag, I don't put wraps on, I don't put boxing gloves on, because obviously I train iron palm and then striking my iron bag and sandbags and stuff. So why am I going to put wraps on for punching a boxing bag? And it's the first thing I said to him. I was like, okay, well, we'll give you these knuckle trainings and the iron palm trainings and do them. And then when you put your wraps on, your hands will be even stronger, but you won't have to rely on wraps, because obviously he quickly came to the conclusion that if he walks out of his gym feeling all cool because he's won his spar and then he has to fight someone in real life, the first thing he doesn't want to do is punch them with one of these nice new combos he's learnt and break his hand or bend his wrist and nail his hand. Anyway. Cool. All right. I saw Brian's comment there, so God bless. Thank you, brother. God bless. It's a strange world that we're living in at the moment with all these aliens and ships flying around and disclosure. No, that's for another conversation, I guess. But anyway, thanks, guys. We might be back later on today with a bit of in a few hours' time with a bit of like a chat podcast or something. I don't know, or this might be it. But have a look back through my channel. There's loads of videos. Sorry, it's not it's not in order. A couple of years ago, I put some of them in order, but there's loads of stuff on there. Yeah. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's all good.
That went on for way too long.